have been discussing it in the classrooms also. So we have with us Mr. Chetan Singh Gill and Mr. Rajesh Raina from SCC Online. They'll be sharing the fundamentals of how can you research through this SCC portal. What are the nitty-gritties, what all problems you can have if you have already used it, the senior batches, if you have already used it, and you if you are facing any issues, then you are free to ask after sir is done with his part. So I welcome Mr. Gill and Mr. Raina. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you,
And
ma'am.
yeah,
Thank you, Kaveri, ma'am. You rightly said that there will be some students who will be joining it for the first time, and like we were discussing, and there will be some students who have, attained some comfort level on either on SCC Online or other portals. One thing is very clear, and I would like to say it in the starting of the session that though I'm from SCC Online, and so is Mr. Raina, but we do not say that SCC Online is the only software that you should be using. This session is getting recorded and this will be going on my YouTube channel, and it might not be taken in a very good taste by some people, but I think most of us, even our top management, believe in this. See, as a researcher, I've been doing research from past 10 years personally, and I can assure you that one software is not good enough. Okay. So you need to learn during your college years. You might be in the 3-year course or a 5-year course. And depending on that, in the first year, second year, third year, fourth year, fifth year, all these 5 years or 3 years, you would have the time to go through all these softwares, right? Learn all these softwares. But should we be using all the software at the same time? Not really. The reason I'm saying this is because when you're doing a research in, let's say, SCC Online, there will be certain databases which are not available over here. Okay, you go to Lexis, there'll be something which will not available over there. So that you might go to, let's say, Westlaw or Manupatra for that matter. And sometimes you don't find anything on these softwares, and you will have to go to softwares which are like Worldly, which is a free open website, and you get the information over there. So the point is that when you're doing research, if you're thinking that you only have one software and you know only that software and you think that you'll get everything, I'm sorry, I'll be the person to blame that I'll burst this bubble for you. That's not going to happen. There've been times when, with Mr. Raina, Mr. Raina is a person who has spent more than 10 years in this company and who knows how the research done end to end. And, on behalf of him, I can say that, there have been times when we have researching for one judgment from, let's say, US or a UK judgment. We have all the information, but it takes us 2 days to get the judgment. And the only reason why people come to us and say that, okay, we're not able to find, just search for it, is because even though we are from SCC, we have also learned, we have also, trained ourselves in other softwares. Okay. The purpose is very simple. You need to be able to do a research when it's required. Second thing, which I will like to dwell upon, is the fact that when everything is available for free of cost, you have India Qanun, which I do not really advocate much on it, right? And I'll give you all the reasons today. And please be, feel free to question me, to ask me that what makes me say that. I will satisfy all your questions. If you have anything that there's this doubt, you said that why should we do not use India Qanun, I'll give you reasons for that. Why you should SCC Online, I'll give you reasons for that as well. So coming to that, there are free softwares. Supreme Court is available. Judas website is there. Then PRS India is there to give you a lot of information. Worldly, Indialy, then India Qanun, like we said. So all these are available for free of cost, and you don't have to pay shell a single penny from your own pocket. But then if everything is available, some websites are not authenticated like India Qanun, but Supreme Court is. If Supreme Court is authentic, as the most authentic website over there, then why do I have to use SCC Online? So I'll start with this. Okay, Mr. Raina, could I request you please share your screen? I'll give the voiceover. While Mr. Raina is sharing his screen, I will explain how we're going to be going through this session. First, we'll go through the basics of SCC Online and the basic comparison of SCC Online with the Supreme Court of India and India Common if required by members. And then we're going to get into the search methodology. We're going to talk about how things are to be searched. And then we move to the question answer round, right? And in the question answer round, you can raise your hand and we can answer all the questions that you will have, that you may have. But all that information is a part of research. We'll also have to talk about another aspect, that considering that we are not in the university and everyone is accessing this or other databases remotely. So the next element which will be a part of this training would be the remote access feature, that how can I access all these databases from the comfort of my home. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. So let's start with this first, that how can I access these databases, then move to Supreme Court of India website, then come to SCC Online, do the comparison, and then start with the normal session. Okay. Now, first thing first, you would have received an email from a sender by the name of noreply@myloft.xyz, what you can see on your screen right now. Okay. I'll be referring it to as myloft. So you'd have received an email from myloft. If you have not received an email, please do let us know, right? Not in this session. We'll take that specially. There'll be a separate section in the end of the session. We'll ask then. But before you do that, you need to check your mailbox, not only in the inbox, but also your spam and junk folder for this particular email to be there. Because considering with the extension that it says XYZ, it's a high possibility that it land up over there. Okay, once you receive that email, Mr. Anna, could you please scroll up? You'll get this kind of an email which will say have your name on the top. It'll say dear Rajesh Raina, and then it says we are glad to inform that your library has been activated and everything. And then the most important section in this particular email is your set password. So once you click on set password, this is the first time you will be setting up a password for your myloft. Understand this is very important, and this is a very important step, because if you open SCC Online directly, it will not open. It will just simply give you ID and password, which will not take you anywhere. So, Mr. Anna, I think you can just simply, yeah, perfect. Now, once you click on set password, the first thing it will say is ask for your institute. So do not go for your institute name right now. Go for SCC Online. So don't go for K R Mangalam and you're looking over there, you won't find it, right? So we just search for SCC Online. I think some problem, Mr. Anna. I think you might just want to refresh this page or just minimize this and open it again. I think this is a non-responsive screen. Just open Google Chrome in another window. Or let me just quickly share my screen. Is it working for you? Yeah. Just open apps.myloft.xyz. Ranji, just write app dot, because that'll take you straight away to this particular page. I think I'll just quickly share my screen. Just check if you can do it. Otherwise, I'll just open it while I. Great. So can you just try it? Just clicking on got it and then just probably go with it. Not working for you, no worries. Leave it. I'm gonna share my screen quickly. And just please confirm, Mr. Anna, if you can see my screen. Kaveri ma'am, can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
great. So we come over here and we search for SCC Online, right? And it'll come like this. Let me zoom in a bit. So search for institute, you come over here, search for SCC Online, and you click on continue. So because I have already set up my account, so it is giving my password by default. But in your case, if you will be coming on this website for the first time, it'll put in your ID, the ID that on which that you have received an email, right? So that will be mentioned or it'll be filled up over here by default, and you put in your password, and that will become your password. You click on sign in. One thing you need to also take care of when you're doing MyLoft, that it does not work on Internet Explorer, right? Internet Explorer is anyways a redundant browser. It works on Edge, it works on Mozilla Firefox, it works on Google Chrome. So you need to use any of these three, and it does not even work on Safari if you're using a MacBook or if you're a MacBook user. So once you come on this particular screen, there'll be a small error message which will come in the center, which will say that you need to install an extension. So you just have to click on Get Extension, and a Google Chrome extension would be added to this particular browser. Once you're done with that basics, you come to e-resources. You click on e-resources, it'll say database. In database, you come to SCC Online, that'll be by default available over here. Click on it, and you will be directed to the SCC Online website. And now, once you're done with this, you click on login. It'll give you two options: user login and IP login. So the reason why we have gone through all this, process of going to MyLoft and getting, clicking on databases and then coming to SCC Online is because of this IP login. If I do not follow the entire process and go to SCC Online directly, it would not give me the option of IP login, which simply means that it will give me the user login, which will ask for my ID along with the password. And that's not for the students. Okay, so IP login is what we're looking for. And from here, you just put in your login ID, that is your login ID, and you click on login now. You'll be directed straight away to the website. There's only one exception to this. That is, in case you have not logged into SCC Online through MyLoft earlier, and this is the first time you're doing it, and you put in your ID, it might just say that login ID not registered. If that's the case, there's no need to worry. You can take care of your, this thing all by yourself by clicking on register here. You click on register here. You put in your login ID, whatever login ID is. You put in your full name, your first name and last name, and click on register and login. And that's all about it. And you'll be registered. The next time you'll come, you'll simply be going over here, IP login, put in your ID, and simply log in now. Okay. So that's a simple step of doing it. Let me say login now. So this is the home page. I'll be addressing this page as dashboards. What is written over here, SCC Online dashboards. I'll be referring this screen as dashboards. Now let's also open Supreme Court of India website. There we are. Now this judgment, there's a lot of things that are available over here. There's a lot of ways that you can find judgments or open up an order. Everything is available, and this is the best part of Supreme Court of India website is that it is updated on a daily basis. So there's no latency as such. Now, when you come over here, there's a different options. I will just focus on one, that is judgments. Okay, so if I click on judgments, it says you can you can look for a case by the case number, diary number, judgment date, judge name, parties, act-wise, constitutional bench-wise, or free text, that is a word search. So depending whatever that suits you, you can choose that. Let me take this one, judgment date. Okay. Now, before we go ahead, I want to take a case which I know is I think it's a landmark judgment, and so it's a pretty lengthy judgment. So to do a comparison, I'll open that judgment right now. So for that, I remember the party name. I will go for this one, find my party name on SCC Online. So I'll open a judgment over here and then open the same judgment on Supreme Court of India website. I'm looking for a case of Puttaswamy. Okay. So I double click on this. I'll show this how we can search in with the party name and all the stuff later on. But let's have a quick understanding. So it's a 24th of August 2017 judgment, right? Let's open the same one. So 24th of August. It's a 2017. Yeah, 2017. So first of all, I go over here, 2017. It's a month of August. Great. And 24th. 24th it is. 24th it is. And I do this over here, do the same thing over here, so that I don't want, I think at one time it doesn't give you more than 1 year of data. So you need to be very specific about it. I'm just taking one date, so that on this date, how many judgments came in, it'll just show me all that over here. 2392, that's a captcha that I need to be filled, and submit. And here it is. You get the case numbers, the diary number, everything is available over here, right? We're looking for Puttaswamy judgment. So it'll be Justice Puttaswamy. There we have it. So it says the diary number and the party name, petition number name is Justice K.S. Puttaswamy, retired. Respondent name, Union of India. Advocate and all stuff is mentioned over here. One click on this, it'll open up the full judgment into a different window. Now, first, let's understand this judgment, what is available on Supreme Court India website, and then we come to the judgment which is available on SCC Online. First thing first. Now it says reportable. There are two kinds of names that you will see, tags that you'll see on the top of the judgment. One is reportable, another one is non-reportable. Reportable, non-reportable. It has simple meaning. When a judge, the lordship, who is deciding a case, when he feels that this judgment should be printed for sure, because this is important, they write it as reportable. They don't write reportable, they write AFR, approved for reporting. Okay, because there's a publishers like SCR and ILR. SCR and ILRs, I'm sure all of you know that ILR is the official publisher of high court judgments of various states, and SCR is the official reporter of government, official reporter of Supreme Court judgments. So when the judges write AFR and all, it's easier for them to bifurcate or differentiate that which judgment needs to be printed and which can be avoided in case there's a space crunch. And there's always a space crunch, because if a judgment is of 500 pages, it might just take up the entire volume space. So the publisher in SCR and ILR have to be directed that which one is important and which one need to be left out, which is okay, can be kept on the website itself. Now that's reportable, non-reportable. In Supreme Court of India, civil original jurisdiction, petition number. Now this is also known as the original citation, okay, or the neutral citation. This is a court citation, 494 of 2012 of writ petition number of civil, right? Party name versus second party, attached cases, or there were other cases, all that are available over here. And then says judgment, Dr. Justice Chandrachud, and judgment starts from here. The judgment has been divided into sections to facilitate analysis, and the judgment starts. Now, if you see over here, the judgment is running to 547 pages. Okay. Yeah. Anyone? Okay. Now you see it's 547 pages of judgment. Now let's come to SCC Online. First of all, if you see over here, the first thing it says digest notes are 57. Judgment is 1. Now, what are these digest notes? Digest notes are the head notes. Some people like to call it head notes. Some people like to call it law points. Some people also would go to an extent and say that this is a ratio of the case which is given over here. Now, personally, I prefer calling it as a law point. That the different points of law which were discussed in the case have been stacked separately for you, so that you don't have to really go to the full case. How do we go about it? How do we use it? We'll discuss this in a bit. Now, come to the second column. It says the Supreme Court K.S. Puttaswamy case, 24th of August, that's the decision date, citation of SCC Online. And then it says J9. Let me zoom in a bit. It says J9. J means it's a full judgment. It's a full text of the judgment. and 9 signifies that how many judges are part of the quorum. Now, when you see the judgment over here, you do not get that inference that this is a single bench judgment, this is a divisional bench, or a full bench, or like 5 judges, 7 judges. There's nothing written over here. You have to scroll down at the end and see everyone's name over there. That's one. Then you come to the second entry. It says Constitution of India, Part 3 being discussed. Court should endeavor to expand the reach and ambit of whatever that is written next to it. Then similar things, but in this Article 32, 136 and 226 was discussed alongside with Preamble 32, 136 and 226. Then the Constitution of India, various articles were discussed. Then again, part 3, but this time talking about right to privacy recognition of as a fundamental right. Then other things. Now, what are you doing right now is you're just reading, going through the points which were discussed in this case without even reading the full judgment. Okay, so we can do this later on. So 9, we already know what 9 means. It's a number of judges who are part of the quorum. And this time J has been taken a place by D. D means that this is one of the law points which were discussed in the judgment. Okay, so these are different points of law. How many points of law? 57 points of law. Now let's come to the judgment and let's do a simple quick comparison of this particular screen. So now first of all, it says the citation of SCC Online in Supreme Court. Everyone names in bold. Everyone judges' names are mentioned over here, which was not there in the first place over here. And then furthermore, it says Justice Chamleshwar, this is Bobde, Justice Nariman, Justice Sapri, along with Justice Chandrachud, and this is Kaul. Their name are in bold. So out of 9, 6 names are in bold and 3 are not. So Chief, Justice Agarwal, Justice Nazir. Their names are not in bold. What does that supposed to mean? That simply means that the names which are in bold, they are the ones who had authored the judgment. Okay. The remaining 3 did not write their views in the judgment. Now, there might be a situation when you know that this case is relevant to you, but then you do not, want to go through the entire judgment one by one, because if in case I want to read what Justice Chamleshwar said, so I need to scroll down and look for his name. I hope Justice Chamleshwar was there. Yeah, Justice Chamleshwar is there. So I will just scroll down and then I'll get to, once I'm done with Justice Chandrachud judgment, that's when I'll see Justice Chamleshwar judgment, if that's a sequence. But what happens over here, in case if I want to read Justice Chamleshwar judgment, I can simply click on his name over here and it takes me to that particular part of the judgment. And they say this was discussed in paragraph 330. And also it says that the Chamleshwar, though he has given his view, but he still has a concurring view. And if I click on his name again, I'm back on the top. Similar thing I can do with Justice Bobde. Justice Bobde is also concurring, but his part of the judgment is starting from page number 381. So he's saving that time, and you can read everyone's opinion in case you have one judge's name in your mind that only I want to read what Justice Nariman said. You can just click on Justice Nariman and read only his part of the judgment. Okay. Now, next thing, the party names, yes. Reportable, non-reportable, it's not written over here for a simple reason. In SCC, we do not go with this, marking that we'll only publish reportable judgment. If something is important and needs to be reach to the masses, we will be adding the judgment over here, irrespective if it's reportable or non-reportable, right? Now, moving to the next, the clubbed cases available over here. Then it says index to head note. Now, rather than giving you straight away a judgment, which has happened, which has obviously happened in the original copy of the judgment, that is starting from judgment over here, we're giving you head notes. Now, not only head note, but also a grouping of head notes. The first group of head notes says, this talks about key rulings of the court, recognizing right to privacy as basic core fundamental right. Short notes A and B. The second grouping, which goes from short note C to V, will talk about nature and facets of the right to privacy. And then further, we'll talk about this and so on and so forth. Now, if I go to the first one, that is this one, and you read these two, it's talking about the key rulings of the court recognizing right to privacy as basic core fundamental right. You read these two, you will not only reading the head note, but you're also reading the sections of the judgment wherein this piece of information or this point was being discussed. And that has also been mentioned over here, per incurium, what the judges said in the judgment, word to word, verbatim, is picked up and may lifted over from there and put it over here for you. And this says that this entire thing that we just read, and this particular paragraph in specific, is from para number 652 of the judgment. So if you read this and you think that this is relevant to you, you simply click on this. It is hyperlink. It will take you to that particular part. Then MP Singh versus Satish Kumar, and this is case. These were cases that were overruled on this point. So not telling you only randomly, okay, this judgment was overruled in this case. No. On which point this judgment was overruled also been mentioned over here along with the head note. The second one, the second grouping starts from here. You keep reading all this stuff. And now when you're reading it, let's suppose you see the Constitution of India, Article 21, 19, 14, 20, and others. Now, for a moment, let's take this assume that we don't remember what Article 19 talks about. I remember what 19 talks about, but I don't remember the word by word what is it covers. What I can simply do is I can simply click on this 19 hyperlink. It'll open that particular article or section in that matter if it have been an act into a different window. I can read about it. Once I'm done with reading, I can simply come back. My judgment is still there. If I want to see the, let's say, Protection of Human Rights Act, this is not a section number, this is a complete act. So if I click on this, the complete act will open up over here. So there's no reason as such that you need to go back, open the article, read about it, and then come back again. Because considering that we are talking to the first year, second year as well, and even the fifth year students, there'll be a lot of acts that you would not been aware of. And when you're reading a judgment on that point, you would need to refer to the Bail Act in that scenario. And you keep scrolling down. That's the second grouping that is done. Now, this kind of work will keep on going on and on till to a long extent. Now, there we are. So judgment, all the head note ends over here. And then it says chronological list of cases cited. This you will find in all the judgment in SCC Online. All the cases which were cited in this judgment of K S Puttaswamy has been mentioned over here. Now you must be wondering that I'm in the K S Puttaswamy case and there's another K S Puttaswamy case that's been mentioned. How is that possible? Now those of you who don't know, there were 9 different judgments of K S Puttaswamy. Okay. So that's what this is a different one. If you see the citation, it's 641. The one that we are on is the first one. And then it says 348C, 550G. If I click on this, this will show me that, okay, on this page, this case was cited. And all the other cases which were cited in this case will be mentioned over here. You can have a look at all these ones. Once you're done with this, there's something extra that we have also done rather than just moving to judgment right now. There's one more element that I would like to cover. Now this element is called, the name of the element is summary of arguments. This is not something that you will see in all the judgments. These are there for few judgments. I think I know 5 or 6 judgments as of now, excuse me, that have these summary of arguments. Now, summary of arguments, what was discussed in the court, what were the submissions made, all that would be made available to you. So what Kapil Sibal said in the court, that will be mentioned right over here. After, with all these arguments and everything, you keep scrolling down, and then you will get to a lot of arguments expected. So all this is blue color, so I know till the time the blue color is going on, this is all the value added of SCC editorial department, and I keep scrolling down, and there we are. This is the judgment part. And now if you do the comparison, the judgment of the court was delivered by Justice Anshul. This judgment has been divided into sections. This judgment has been divided into sections to facilitate analysis. That's the same wordings. And if you come to SCC Online, sorry, let me close these. This is the same wording over here. The judgment has been divided into sections. And then there you go. But also one more thing over here. This also said that Justice Chandrachud spoke on behalf of Chief Justice K R, Justice Agarwal himself, and Justice Nazir, along with Justice Samleshwar, Justice Bobde, Justice Nariman, basically on everyone's behalf. And because all the other members, so these three, Justice K R, Justice Agarwal himself, Justice Nazir, over here, if you see this, different kind of colon. So on behalf of these members, and then Chamleshwar sir, Justice Bobde, Justice Nariman Sapri, Justice Kaul sir, were concurring with Justice Chandrachud. And then you can read the full judgment. Now, if you see the scroller, it is almost in the mid, more than the mid of the judgment. That means anything that you saw prior to this, that is 345 pages, 344 pages. Because judgment was starting on page number 1. So 344 pages of value-added information was poured in front of you. Guys, this is one of the major difference that you don't get on Supreme Court India website, and you get it on SCC Online. And this is another thing that you will not find in any other software, let it be Lexis, Westlaw, Manupatra, India Kanun, obviously not. So head notes is a very, very important aspect that we have. And that's what we, that's one of the reasons why we charge for our services. So that being the major difference, right? I'll now get into the software research, that how we can do research on SCC Online. So far, if anyone has any question about, about Supreme Court website or SCC Online or head notes and all, you can please raise your hand. You can let us know if you have any questions. Then we will address it right away. Otherwise, we'll move forward with the session. Okay. And now, guys, moving to this session, SCC Online. If you have any questions during the session, you can put it in the chat box. Mr. Raina is there. And if the question is relevant to what we are showing on the screen, Mr. Raina will pick up that question and put it before me. Now, let's talk about that what all you'll be able to access through SCC Online. The simpler way for telling you that is you can go to SCC Online homepage once. And quick sec. There's an option over here that says data coverage. You can click on data coverage and say web edition, and you can go through the entire information all by yourself, Supreme Court and all, from which period to which period, everything is there, right? I'll give you a quick, I would not like to take you through all this, one by one, just to give you a good, overview of what all you'll be able to access. You will have access to all the Supreme Court judgments from the inception till date with the original copy as a true print. That means when you take a printout, you'll get the printout as if the way it was printed in the law reports. First. Second thing, you will get judgments from all the high courts. Then before independence judgment, that is Privy Council and federal courts and historical courts like Pepsu, Awadh, Lower Burma, Lahore Court, all these courts judgments are also available over there. Various tribunals, all the central acts, state acts, then commentaries on central acts are available over here. Then your articles from various journals, you'll be able to access treaties and conventions, moot court resources. So if you're not able to go to a particular moot court, but you want to see what was the problem, how was the winning team memo from both the sides, you'll be able to get that information. You'll also be able to get the information of bills in Parliament, as and when they are passed by one of the houses or as introduced in one of the houses. Then alongside with this, we are giving you must be wondering that this is only SCC, not really. Now, if you see over here, we'd say that we are giving you cross citation of AIR, ITR, STEC, company cases and others. These are equivalent citations, but what we've done is we also have collaborated with a lot of journals. So SCC, if you talk about SCC library, it is only of 500 pages approximately. But because of our collaboration with CIC, with DLT, Martial Law Times, Gaudi Law Journal, and others, and ILAs of various states, when we combine all these journals and their volumes along with us, you will be accessing this information from 12,000 volumes of database. Okay. And sorry, it's not 12,000, it's 15,000. 12,000 was a number earlier. Now it's been changed. It's 15,000 volumes of information that you'll be getting the information from. And if you actually, think about it, 15,000 volumes would be a huge library. Okay. Now let me just quickly go to the software and show you the basics of it first, how you can go around the software, how you get the information in a simpler way. First thing first, guys, there are a couple of different options over here. One is Research Plus, then you have My Library, and then you have links. Today, we'll not be talking about much of links because links are the external websites that we have, right? So we'll be focusing our energies only and only on these two. The Research Plus, which are the blue color tiles, needs to be used when you have something in your hand. That means you either have a body name, you have a citation, you have a sentence to search your information with, or you have a section of an act that you have to, or you want to see judgments on, then you will come to these blue color tiles. In case you do not have anything, but you know under which head you want to see the information and what information are you looking for, then the browse will come in handy. Browse is more like it says My Library. My Library is actually like a virtual library. Now, if I take you back a year back when you were all in the university, you would remember that when you used to walk in the library, you exactly knew that, in which section takes care of the Bare Acts, in which section, in which part of the library I would find the journals, in which part of the library I will find the real judgments and the law reports and commentaries and manuals and others. And you used to go to that particular section, browse through the information and pick up the book that was relevant to you. Same methodology you have to be followed over here. You have all the information poured in front of you in a tree structure. You click on the heading, it will give you the entire list that comes under that particular tree head. And you'll be able to click on any of this and the information will pour in the next screen itself. Okay, so we'll come to this in a bit. Let's start with the most simplest search, that is word search. Excuse me. Now word search. As the name suggests, you'll be doing a search with few words here and there. Something that you need to learn and unlearn certain things at the same time. We all know if any one of you who are on this meeting say that I don't know legal research, I would somewhat agree. But if someone says that I don't know how to do research at all, I would disagree completely. We've been doing research on Google, I don't know from how many years now. Okay. And we get all our information right from going to a cafe, finding reviews of a particular phone or equipment, and even to, in which university you want to take admissions in, what is COVID happening and all stuff. You can get all the information. That's what you're doing a research. That's called research. Legal research is no different. Legal research, the only thing that changes in the research is that your research would only and only be restricted to the legal part of it. And you would want to see the information which is more authentic. Let me show you one example, which is not an example for you to make a note of, but this is more of a conceptual knowledge. See, what we do on Google is we write everything out. Right? We write that we want a judgment from Supreme Court of US, Supreme Court of Canada, or Supreme Court of UK or India. You have to mention that. On which topic, you have to mention that, right? Now, what happens when you write all this stuff? Google needs to ask you all this stuff because Google has everything. It has people coming who are from the photography world, people coming who are from fashion, people coming who are mechanic. So then you need to mention your area of interest. I'll give you one simple example. Let's say I search for my name. right? That's my name over here. Chetan Singh Gill, start search. It says around 15 lakh results. Does that mean that I'm really popular on the internet? I wish. But the problem what is happening right now is it's giving me results not only for Chetan Singh Gill as one word, but also Chetan as a single word, Singh another word, and Gill going everything. Which also means that Chetan Sharma, Chetan Bhagat has also done some contribution in this search. Now, if I do, because what Google works in a way is Google says that you give me three words, I'll give you best combination possible. I'll search for Chetan Singh Gill, I'll search for only Chetan, only Singh, and only Gill as well. And I'll show it to you. Have a look at the probably let's say sixth or seventh page. If you see, it's a Chetan Pandey, Nirvair Singh Gill, Navdeep Singh Gill, Sanjot Singh Sandhu, Chetan Divakar. So it doesn't make sense. It is giving me all the results, but the results, all these results are of no use to me. So what needs to be done? I want that Chetan Singh Gill to be searched and nothing should be skipped. So let's do a search now. 1590 down to only 11,000. This is the major difference when we compare Google with legal research softwares. We say that Google is giving me 1 crore results and you're only giving me 100 results. How is that possible? Because the legal research software, and not only about SCC Online, any legal research software for that matter, works in the same function. That whatever that you ask for, it's giving you exactly that. Now, these 4 pages, all these 4 pages will talk about Chetan Singh Gill as one word. It might be there might be another Chetan Singh Gill in the world. I have no idea about that. But yes, it's now giving you better results. So what do we do in our when you're doing research over here? We don't have to write thesis. We don't have to write sentences when you're doing research. So let's pick up the very simpler search. You want to see latest judgment? Wait a sec. The judgment from Supreme Court of India, right? Latest judgment from Supreme Court of India. On which topic? On, you can take anything. You can take arbitration. Let's take, I've taken corruption. I've been taking corruption lately a lot. Let me take this. I know the results, so I'll take this one. So latest judgment from Supreme Court of India on corruption. Let's do a start, sir. That's how you would do a research on Google, right? And then we try to, apply the same principles over here. Something wrong in it? The problem, there's only one thing which is wrong. That in the legal research softwares, you don't get to know that have you found all the have you gone through all the databases with your research, or something has been left out. Because if it says 1100 results, I can't really quantify this, that go back and check that, oh yes, this is the right one or not. So the only way to find that particular out is to do the right search. But let's go with this search first. It says 1100 results. Then the bifurcation 1100 is given over here. It says digest notes, judgments from Supreme Court, Privy Council, High Court, District Court, foreign cases, everything has been searched, right? Bills in Parliament, notification, everything. Now we got judgment on corruption, I'm assuming. I want to see only Supreme Court, because right now it says articles, Supreme Court, and then it also have other high courts as well. What I saw, right? So it says Allahabad, Andhra Pradesh, all that has been searched. I want only Supreme Court. Can I do only Supreme Court? Certainly. I can come over here and in front of judgment, I say this, take my cursor, it says only, right? I click on this only. It's only going to show me now Supreme Court judgment. So from 1100, the result have been down to 104. The other were not relevant to me because they were not coming from Supreme Court. Now, is it the latest judgment that as I asked for it? No, it's not. Can I get the latest judgment? Certainly. So there's an option of sort by. I can click on sort by and I go to chronological latest first. I click on that. So they can also sort it by date wise. So 7th of May 2021 is the latest judgment on corruption. I think this is the latest one because I'm sitting in the month of May and I'm happy with this search. And the second latest is the 9th of January. So quite possible. The offices are closed. There's, people are not on the road. Corruption level might have gone down. Certainly, black marketing is a different topic for, I think, topic for another day. So maybe 7th May and 19th of January. But how can I be sure that this is the right search? There's no way. So let's go back. The only way to get the right results and the maximum results is by fixing our research. Now you notice one thing. We have an option of selecting only a particular code. We also have the option of sorting the judgment with the latest date. So ideally, we don't need to type this. Remove this. Just write the word of your choice. So this can be, you can replace corruption with arbitration, couple homicide, quasi contracts. You can void contracts, motor accident, public interest litigation, whatever. You type the word, just type the word, that particular legal word, right? Start search with it. We got 1100 results earlier. The number had jumped to 57,000. We had 104 judgments in Supreme Court, almost showing 200. Let's take Supreme Court. Let's take the latest one. At least the software was right in a way that 7th of May is the latest judgment, no doubt. The second latest was showing in the month of January. That's not right. 5th of May, 4th of May, 20th of April. Let's see 9th of January. Where is it actually? 9th of January. Still going down. 9th or 19th. I think it was 19th, I believe. Yeah, it was 19th of January. So there were 19 more judgments, 18 to be practically, if I look at it, 18 more judgments which came between the latest and the 19th of January. We were missing out on all of these judgments just because we were not unlearning our techniques of doing research on Google and not adopting the new techniques of doing a research on legal research softwares. Okay. Small thing, conceptual knowledge goes a long way. Let's go back to word search. Now, what do we do if there's a legal word, but which is made of 2 or 3 words? Let's take the example of public interest litigation. So I'll say public interest litigation, right? Now, whenever you're using any legal phrase, it can be motor accident, it can be culpable homicide, it can be dowry death, it can be public interest litigation, it can be locus standi, doctrine of eclipse, whatever. The words which are made up of 2 or 3 words like this. My suggestion would be do not start search like this, because what is going to happen is rather than doing one search, it's going to do 4 searches. It's going to search for public interest litigation, then public individually, interest individually, and so goes the same for litigation. So out of 4 searches, only 1 search would be relevant to you. But how would you bifurcate that information? So you need to do it beforehand. And for that, whenever you're doing a legal word search, which is made of more than 1 word, like corruption, death, murder, dowry, no double quotes required. Culpable homicide, attempt to murder, dowry death, then double quotes yes, and start search. It's gonna bring the numbers, down by a significant number, but also giving you relevant information. And there we have it. All this information will be public investigation. And see, if you see over here, the word public accountability, if I were not put double quotes, this particular word would have also been highlighted. But now I've done the public interest litigation search. Now this is a very vague search. I want to see public interest litigation cases, let's say on human rights. So do I need to go back and do the search? Not required. There's an option over here which says under this logo of SCC, it says search within search results. You come over here and again the same thing, human, 2 words, right? Human rights. So double quotes and start search. What's going to happen now is going to search for human rights within the search of public interest litigation. So the results that you will get will talk about human rights and public interest litigation in one go. So what you're doing is you're doing sub searches. You're filtering your searches accordingly. Okay, so this way you can go 6 times. You can do 6 times sub searches, and then you'll get your information accordingly. And the best part of this is you can simply cross it out. You see this cross button? If I cross it out, what's going to happen is it's going to bring me back to the main search. So a lot of times when you're doing a research, you have to go back and forth. So this will help you with that. Let's go back to word search. I think we understood the word search for now. I might just come again on this if the time allows and talk about some more features. But let's go further. Now let's talk about this words and phrases. So we were in word search. Now let's jump to the extreme right. That's words and phrases. Click on this. Now what is this supposed to mean? This is a simple. It's okay. This is your legal dictionary. Whenever you're looking for a particular word, meaning of a particular word, come over here. Let's say dowry. The meaning of dowry comes over here. Means any property or valuable security given or agreed to be given either directly or indirectly. Now, when you see this entire thing, this is saying Section 2A of Dowry Prohibition Act, India. That means this definition is coming from an act, a bare act. The second definition, however, is coming from a case, Rima Agarwal versus Anupam. The third definition is coming again from some judgment that is here. The fourth one is coming again from Haryana judgment. And the fifth one, it says, at the end, it says what. Now, what simply means that the first one was from the Bail Act, second, third, fourth were coming from judgment, when this particular word was defined in the judgment. And the fifth one is coming from what? What is a Wharton Dictionary of Law. So this is how you get the meaning of different words from various areas. And if this is the case which has been defining the word dowry, that means this case would be the primary topic of discussion would be dowry in this case. So I can open this case and I can get through the, if in case dowry is my research that I want to do, I can all do that. And over here, in case you want looking for legal words, then you don't have to put over here. You don't have to put double quotes. You just simply write it. You get the meaning of it. Okay. So that's your simple way of searching. Let's move to the next one. Now, how am I going back to dashboards? By clicking on this icon. If I click on this icon, it brings back that dashboard for me. Now, we just talked about word search. Let's talk about something which is, more like a guided search. That is find by topic. Now, what do I mean by guided search? Now, over here, you don't have to search for it. The topic is already available for you. Now, let's suppose I'm looking for something related to contempt of court, right? Everyone understands the meaning of contempt of court. So I'm taking a very basic examples. I'm not going too much into technical examples. Now, if I click on contempt of court and there's a plus sign, so I click on this, all the topics which come under contempt of court would be given to me. Now, I understand in the initial period of learning law, there are a lot of words that you do not remember. You do not know which word would be the right legal word for it, because we all understand that the dictionary that we all follow is not the words are not there in the Oxford Dictionary. So the words that we use and the words what normal public use differs a lot of time. So with this contempt of court, I'll get to see all the topics which are coming under contempt of court. Not only this, if let's suppose I talk about criminal contempt, right? And after clicking on criminal contempt, I see this, it says save search preference. Let me first click on that. Why am I clicking on it? Because next thing it says search. You want to search for this particular word? I say yes, I want to search for this topic. Okay, do you want to search everywhere? Everywhere means that you want to search in the judgments, in the Bail Acts, in the articles, in the treaties, Constituent Assembly debates, everywhere. Yes. I want to search only for digest notes, and that too only for Supreme Court digest notes. Then this. Only headings. Then this. So I would prefer you do this. That is search everywhere, because now this will become exactly like word search. Search everywhere and click on go. You get the results? Definitely you'll get the results. Digest notes, the head notes, all the head notes are available over here, right? And guys, you must be wondering, like, why am I saying that head notes, bar, why this is important? Let me explain that in this example itself. But before that, judgments are available over here. Supreme Court, High Court, historical courts, foreign courts, international courts, tribunals, acts. Now, acts are also given by central acts or state acts. Only central acts have been talked about. Contempt of court, civil criminal contempt, bills in parliament, as introduced in Lok Sabha, as introduced in Rajya Sabha. Nothing has been passed as such. So it's something being is cooking in the parliament right now on this topic. So you can see that rules and regulations, articles, report of commission, everything that you want is available on this topic for you. Now coming to this digest note, which says D. Now if you see, it says, let me zoom in a bit. Mahipal Singh Rana, this is SK Sundaram. Then again, Mahipal Singh Rana, this is a different case. RS Sujata is the same case. Then Mahipal Singh Rana, I think Mahipal Singh Rana is talking purely about criminal contempt. Now, what we're doing is, if I click on this, it will display over here. It says punishment for contempt, mode and manner of purging of contempt. Explained. यहाँ लिखा हो जो भी लिखा होगा इस topic के ऊपर. You come down, you keep reading it. It says all this is what discussed in para 32 of this case. Now, this is not a full judgment. This is only that one point of law which was discussed in this case. This case might have talked about so many other things. But the point that you have asked for is criminal contempt. Only that head note has come in. You read that point of law, makes sense, good enough. Otherwise, you move to the next head note. So what you're doing is you're not going as per judgments. You're going as per topics. You read the topic, you search for topic, you read the topic that is relevant to you. If any other topic is matching with what you have on your mind, let's suppose this matches your search, you simply click on the citation. It'll open the judgment into a different window and you can do your research. You can read about it. If not, close it. You come back. You move to the next case. You read that, makes sense, doesn't make sense, go to the next one. What you're doing is, by now, you have already done with 3 cases, but this cases might be of 100 to 200 pages. But how much time did you take? Probably 5 or 10 minutes for each judgment, because you're just reading the point of law that is of your interest. So this is the main essence or main use of the digest notes. Okay. Let's go back to topic guide one more time. Quickly, if you want to see, let's suppose you are into service law cases, right? So I can just simply, I can also search over here. So there it is, service law, start search. So the entire service law topic tree will come. So it's not that you have to always search, and it's not only about the headings. Let's take something from here. Let's take appointment, right? Now appointment would obviously be a part of this. Now if I say appointment, now it says the appointment comes into different heads. Advocates, appointment and condition services, arbitration, appointment of arbitrator, armed forces, labor law, parliament and state and service law. Now, which kind of topic are you looking for? See, there's one thing. If I click on this appointment or this appointment or this appointment, this will all give me the same results. Not only restricted to armed forces, not only restricted to labor law or service law, it'll give me appointment as a word search. But if I click on appointment of arbitrator, then it will only restrict search for appointment of arbitrator, not the word appointment only. The reason I'm giving you this example is because sometimes the point that you're trying to search for, you don't know under which all topics it might just come. So this will help you understand that appointment may come under arbitration, may come under armed forces, and in what context it will be talked about. So it's a good understanding of the topic tree. It's a good understanding of the the structure of the constitution, that or what are the topics that the constitution has been divided into. Let's go back to dashboards. Let's move to the next one, that is find by party name. Now this is very interesting. Why it is interesting? Because you can find judgment with the party name. Not only that, it also lets you find judgment even if you don't have the party name. So let's go with the first old school method of it. Let's take Supreme Court judgment. In case you don't know that which court does the case belongs to, you have any dilemma around it, you can select on all jurisdiction. When you do that, it'll search for the name of the court judgment that you're going to be searching over here in all the courts, right? So let's say, I think I just got one judgment. Just a minute. I think I had this judgment written yesterday for yesterday. Yes, let's take this one. Kanhaiya Lal, right? And I search for it. Now Kanhaiya Lal gave me 7,009 results. Why? Because I've said search for all jurisdiction. Will it make any difference if I say Supreme Court? So 709 down to 18. I remember this is Kanhaiya Lal versus Union of India. So I'll just write Union, start search. We left it only 2 results. Now, this is not that judgment I'm looking for. So let me say Kanhaiya Lal like this. Yeah, I'm looking for this one. So if you see, if you put a space between, you get a different judgment. If you don't put a space between, there's a different judgment. So this is the judgment I'm looking for. I open this judgment. Okay, double click on this. Now, you see it says Digest Notes 4, judgment is 1. Now, if you talk about this case, that what is the case about? I think if you pay attention on the screen, you can tell that thing within, I think, less than 30 seconds. This case is about narcotics. It's a narcotics case. Because all the headings that you see on this page is related to narcotics, intoxications, and liquor. Right? But now there's another thing. Apart from J2 and D2, J means the full judgment, D means the digest note, 2 means the quorum strength. You also have this red exclamation marks. And this red exclamation mark is on all the head notes. What is that supposed to mean? This means that whenever you have this red exclamation mark, that means this particular law point has been overruled. But in this scenario, all the law points have been overruled. That means this entire judgment has been overruled. And if I scroll down at the end, it will tell me that where it was overruled. So it was doubted, and I think because it was doubted, overruled, where is the word overruled over here? I think because it was doubted, and I think that's why it is given over here. Just let me see the next one. Section 24 of the Evidence Act would be excluded in case of confession statement made under Section 24 for the conviction. So basically, if you see this editorial remarks, this simply means that the reason on which this case was based on, that does not even know what the NPS Act says. And that's why it was doubted in a lot of cases, and that's why it has been taken off. That the entire case is not relevant. You should not be citing this particular point of law. Now, what happens when you look at judgments which are not completely overruled? I'll give you one judgment, and I'm sure a lot of you would say that the judgment is overruled. And the judgment that I'm going to show you, it's of Supreme Court, and the judgment is of SP Gupta. Now search for SP Gupta. There's so many judgments. I'm looking for this one, 1981. Double click on this or click on go, means the same thing. It'll open the full judgment now. Now, some of you would been in this, I think, in that state of mind that this judgment has been overruled. So I should not be citing this judgment. Do I see red exclamation marks over here? No. But on the top, it says partly overruled in Scora versus Union of India. So how do I see which points of law has been overruled? See, first thing, we do not put the red exclamation mark on the judgment, because saying that the judgment is overruled, it's not the right way to say it. You always say that unless until all the law points of law has been overruled, and like in the previous case of Kanhaiya Lal, then you can say judgment is overruled. But in this scenario, you cannot. But how do I figure it out? Which one is overruled? Do I scroll down? That's one way of going for it. But otherwise, simply just come over here, open any judgment. I think I will just give you this piece of advice to all of you. Going forward, whenever you open any judgment with the help of citation or party name, open judgment, come to sub search and search for overruled. If some results comes in the sub search, that means something is overruled. So like you see, from 52 points of law, these 3 points of law has been overruled. And if I click on any of this, it talks about Article 217, power of appointment of judges of High Court, held executive in nature and rests in President. And now if you see Justice Bhagwati's opinion on this point, Justice Fazl Ali's opinion on this point, Judge's White opinion is also given. However, this particular point has been overruled. That's a different story, but you see it. Which simply means out of 52 points, 53 is written over here because 1 is judgment. So 52 was a law point. So in the 52 law points, only 3 have been overruled, which simply means 49 are still a good law. So I don't understand why you are shying away from using this judgment. Just because some senior told you that the judgment is overruled, don't go for it. You just close the door completely. And the reason why I'm taking this example specifically and giving this scenario is because I was in one of the moot court competition, I think a couple of years back, 6-7 years back, and I was sitting through the moot court competition in the final round, and some girl cited this particular judgment, and the other girl, without I think losing a beat, she just shouted in the entire courtroom saying that, my lord, she's citing overruled judgment. And obviously, if someone who's in the final round, has gone through all the levels and cites an overruled judgment, it does surprises the judges and everyone, because you don't expect that to happen. To everyone's surprise, this girl who had cited this particular judgment had a smile on her face. And before, once that other girl stopped saying that this is overruled and all, she should not be citing and all stuff, she smiled. She smiled at her. She looked at us and she said that, before the court, I'm going to say this, that probably my friend has not done her homework. I have done my homework. The point of law that I'm citing is still a good law, and that's the reason I'm citing it. And she cited some point of law in this judgment, and she won the competition because the other counsel had no option or no preparation as such on this judgment. So never ever neglect it. The only reason why you neglect, or anyone tells you to neglect it, because like this judgment is of 800 pages. Now to figure it out that on which point of law this case has been overruled, you would need to go through the full judgment completely. And that takes a lot of time. And that's why people prefer saying that the judgment is overruled, leave it. Okay, so that's why. So you get that point, you're good to go. One more thing, let's go to judgment. How can you take a printout of the judgment? How can you do a photocopy? How can you do a copy paste from the judgment? I'll talk about these quickly over here. First thing, now if you see everyone's name is in bold, that means everyone has authored a judgment in this scenario. Let's talk about the saving and printing first. So there's an option over here. There's a saving option. If I click on this, it will save the file. This will email the file. And then you have this print option. Now in the print option, what happens is there are 2 primary options. One is a true print. The other one is a non-true print. And third one is the non-true print and the words that you search for, that we search for overruled, that get highlighted wherever it is. I don't want this one. I'll just talk about these 2. TP and non-true print. Now, true print basically means that when you're giving a judgment and you are getting a print out of the judgment, it will give you exactly the same print how it was printed in the law reports. So you don't have to run to your library and do a photocopy. Okay. And non-true print would give you the printout of the judgment as you can see on the screen right now. So internet printout. In the court, internet printouts are not accepted. India Qanun printouts are not accepted. Google printouts are not accepted. You need to go to your library, do a photocopy of the judgment that of the law report, that is accepted. Certified copy from the court, that is expected. And otherwise, you can come over here and you can click on true printout. Let me click on true print. It gives you a page range. And there we have it. Your name. Right now I'm logged in with my name, so my name shows over here. The first page, and then on the top is you see this the stamping of SCC Online. This is a proof that this document is authentic, and the judges will simply know that this has been taken from SCC Online, and it cannot be edited. So first page, I've asked for 4 pages. So first page, second page, third, and the last page. Now, this is the exact photocopy of how it was printed in the law reports, so you can use them. Second thing, how can I copy a particular paragraph? See, head notes you cannot copy. Let me be very clear about it. You cannot copy any head note from the SCC Online software. All you can do is you can copy the paragraph of the judgments. One paragraph or all the paragraphs, that's your choice. Now let me click on this. I'm going on just Bhagwati's judgment. One way is you can simply highlight it, do a Control C, Control V, it will do the work. But then there are a few judgments which will not let you highlight, like this one. Now then in those scenarios, you will have these you have this clipboard icons. You click on this clipboard icon. I've taken the first paragraph. Let's take the second. And let me leave the fourth one. Let me leave the third one. Come to the fifth and then come to the fourth. So I've got a couple of paragraphs. Once I'm done with this, I will now come to this option. It says smart copy. So you select by doing a single click, smart copy. This paragraph these paragraphs get copied into a different window. With the party name, which you did not write, the citation, which came automatically, the first paragraph, second paragraph, then the fifth paragraph, because that's how we selected, and the fourth paragraph. So same sequencing will be matched. And there we have it. And you can also send it to your email address or to someone else as well. That is totally your choice. And if you want to only copy a particular paragraph or few lines, you can also do that. Control C from here, open a Word file, paste, it'll be purely editable format. Okay. So click and then smart copy. Next thing, if I want to see where this judgment was cited, I want to see all the cases where this case was cited as a precedent. Okay. And that will only happen in the case, let's suppose this is my case. This is a case that is totally matching with my research. But I want to see now more cases wherein this case was cited, because that will help me find multiple cases or cite multiple cases with the same view. So in that scenario, I'll come to this, that is smart copy. Next to that, there is an option of case reference. So one click on this, and that's all it requires. You'll get all the judgments where SP Gupta versus Union of India case was cited. So Sunil Samdaria, PUCL case, AK Roy, State of Uttarakhand versus Balwant Singh, the same case, Supreme Court of India versus Subhash Chandra, and others. You get all these cases, and also tells you SP Gupta case versus Union of India was explained and relied on. In this case, let's have a look. SP Gupta case versus other cases were relied on. So you can see that, if it is relied on, that means these are cases of my interest. And that way you can get the entire shepherdizing arrangement of all things that you need. Anything, anyone? Okay. So that being said, you can also create your own folders. So I can create if I want to save this particular judgment, all these judgment one by one that has been made that are important to me. I click on this. It says BMM Munjal University. I'll change the folder. And I say new folder. Let's make it for one for your university. Okay. So I'll say K R Mangalam. And enter. Select the folder. and OK. Now this document has been saved into my folder. I can save similarly. I can save other folders. By default, the last folder will appear over here. I'll take that. I can take judgments as well. I can take articles, whatever I want to save in that particular folder. I can do that with Ace. Like this, I can save all my things. OK. How do I access this folder? I'll come to that in a bit. So that's your party name search. Moving to the next. Find by citation is very simple. You don't have to be like it's not a mandate that you have to use AI SCC citation. You can use any citation: AIR, ILR, DRJ, DLT, Gujarat Law Herald, Indian Appeals, whatever that you have. And to make things simpler, you can type it over here, select it from here, type it over here, put in the citation, get citation, you'll get it. And we don't have a tie-up with AIR, by the way, but what we're doing is we're giving you equivalent citations, and not only for AIR. If you see over here, even if you were to search for AIC, Criminal Law Journal, or KLT, we would have still given you this judgment. Okay, so that's a citation-wise search. Next one, find case law by section. This is a simple search wherein you can find judgment on a particular section of an act. So let me take the most common one right now, which I'm sure everyone would have gone through it. That is Contract Act, right? So let's take Contract Act. Don't write the word Indian. So Indian Penal Code, Indian Contract Act, Indian Evidence Act, don't. Remove the word Indian, type the next word, okay? And let's take the most common, section 17. Double click on this. So first you write the act. Act opens up, you set a section, and then you click on it. It'll give you all the judgment on section 17, in this example, of the Contract Act appearing over here. So that's how simple it is. Okay, you can do a similar search in word search as well. How we can do it? You can write the same thing. Contract, let me zoom in a bit. Contract Act, 2 words. So what we'll do? We'll put double quotes. I'm looking for section 17. So just write 17. There's no need to write section and all the stuff. Now, you can do a search right now, but there's a high possibility that Contract Act and 17 might come together in like same sentence, because that's what you're looking for. It might come far off. So how can we ensure that these things come near to each other? Now, to bring them near, we'll just write the word near. So this what we'll do is we'll find Contract Act in 17 within 10 words. I can make it reduce it to 5 as well in case I want, but this is okay. And start search. Simply, this is the same way you can write CPC, order 7, rule 11, near karke, you'll get it. And this is how you get the judgments on section 17 of, you can see it over here, section 17 of Contract Act is available over here. Not only with this, near can also be used for sentences. We spoke about in the starting about public interest litigation, talked about corruption and all, but we did not talk about a sentence. What if you have to search for a sentence? Let me give you a simple example, which we all use, or you must have heard of. Lawyers are the officers of the court. If you've not heard it by now, be prepared for it. You will hear it. Now, there's one way of saying it. This statement is lawyers are the officer of the court, right? The other way of saying this is lawyers should act as officer of the court, or lawyers are considered as the officer of the court, or lawyers should act as an officer, something like that. I'm sure there must be more derivatives of it. Now, if you notice in these 3 sentences, what is common? Are, the, should, consider, of, the are not important. Lawyers, officer, court. 3 words are important. Irrespective of what sentence you make, these 3 words will be there. So what I would suggest, whenever you have a search, do not write the this conjunctions, making the the connecting words. Just write the main words. And now if you see this, there's some suggestion coming over here. He says that you want to search for lawyers or advocates. But let's keep it simple. I say I just want to search for this. Near and near. So you can use multiple times, that's not a problem. Lawyers near this, near this. it will give me all the different ways that this particular statement can be used. So let's have a look. The first one, lawyers are the officers of the court. Okay, let's find another. This is all the same. Lawyers are the officers of the court, the same. Now see this one. Lawyers, because they are the officers of the court. Now because comes in. That lawyers, that worthy lawyers are the part of the judicial system, are officers of the court. So this, what is happening now is you have widened your search, scope of research. That's what it is. And quickly, I'm going to show you how you can see your, folders that we have created over here. Let's take one more judgment. And we go to this. We don't go to this now. We go to this and say my folders and view folders. You come over here. That's the folder that we have created. 5 entries. All the 5 entries are here. You can click on all these 5 entries. And now what you can do is you can make your compendium, which is a very time consuming activity. If you're going for a moot court competition, what do? You bring out judgments, you do a photocopy of judgments, do the pagination of each and every page, and that's when you make your compendium ready, right? I'll get it done within, I think, less than 1 minute. So I select all of it. Let me zoom in a bit. I select all of it. I come over here and I go to the last option. It says create case compilation. One click on this. It says what's the name of the compilation. I said leave it like this. Create. That's it. That's all it needs. Rest of the work is done by the software itself. The index is made. Rebug console. Judgment starting from page number 1 till going to page number 11. The other one is going from 12 to 13, then 14 to 15, then 16 to 17, and 17 onwards is a new judgment. You can also, make your own, annotations in this. You can put your own, what you want to cite. So I want to say cite panel number 2 of this. So I can do that, and that gets saved. I can make it bold as well if in case that is required. But let's come to this. Let's come to the next entry, that is the pagination work done. So page 1. So till page number 11, there'll be one judgment. So page number 11, the judgment is ending over here. And there's another judgment, but this is also ending on this page itself. The second judgment that we were looking for, Ranjit Thomas, that is starting from page number 12. This has all been done. So you download this, you download these, put the index in the forefront, and then put the 17 pages back to back. Your compendium is ready. So that's how you want to make the compendium. Now I'm going to stop over here. However, there is one more element that I would like to talk about. That is, quick overview of browse. But I have taken time till 3:30. I still have 2 more minutes. So I want to take if there's any question. Otherwise, I'll pick up that. If you have any question, please you can unmute yourself, or you can ask the question by raising your hand. If not, then I'll cover the browse part, which is going to take another 2-3 minutes. Any question, anyone?
Mr. Gill, I have one question.
Please.
Yeah, so we saw that we can search for articles and case laws, books, some of them, only the index part, that was what I observed. Do we have any specific link where we can get all the Law Commission reports?
Ma'am, it's inbuilt into it. I'll just show it to you.
Yeah.
So all the Law Commission reports and other committee reports are also kept over here. So let's just go back. Let me see if I can search for. So let me just do a search. Let's take about freedom of speech, right?
No, not with the words. I'm asking
all the reports.
Yeah, okay. All the reports on one page of.
No worries. I'll show this way as well. I'll show you that way as well. So okay. In case, see what happens is when you have 12 200 plus law commission reports. Sometimes it's overwhelming to find that on which point this law commission report is. In case you have a point and you want to see law commission report on that, then you search in word search, and over here when it says reports of commission, it's not completely written over here. If you click on only, you'll get all your reports of commission, law commission reports and all available over here. That's one way of searching, topic wise.
Yeah.
However, if you want to see all the law commission reports, then we come to this browse option. So when you click on browse secondary materials, because this is a secondary material, you come over here, ma'am. There's a reports of commission committees option over here. I click on this. So a lot of other committee reports, not only a law commission report, like I said, other reports are available over here. But because we are referring to only law commission report for now, so law commission report, the first one came in 1956, yes. And the last one, I think, came in 2018, or I think, I don't remember the latest one now. So the first report is here. You keep scrolling down. 2018 August 2077 report. And anytime you click on any of this entry, it'll open the entire Law Commission of India report, that particular report over here for you. And you can download this by saving it, or you can copy any particular part from simply highlighting over here. That can be done.
Right. Thank you.
I'll share one more thing apart from this, which I'm sure, two things rather, which gonna help a lot to the students, but also to faculty members. Because a lot of times we want to help the students, but we don't have that, that time that we can, sit down and do other work, which, which might wanna, we do want to do it, but we can't do it. So that is two things. First, giving your students the important judgments when they are going through a BEAR Act. So let's suppose, let me go through this, browse acts and rules. Now in browse acts and rules, their central notification, all that is kept over here. But let me just go for only the acts for now. I go to central acts. And now depending on which act you want to see, the list will come over here. Let me zoom in a bit. You see all the acts are available over here, the principal acts, and the acts which are not used on a daily basis are alphabetically arranged. So you can see Aadhaar Act, Advocates Act, and all that would come over here. Let's take Contract Act again. Now, rather than just providing the BEAR Act, we give you another thing. So if you scroll down further and see the starting of the BEAR Act, so the BEAR Act starts from here. Now see this. There's a blue color boxes which will keep on appearing throughout the BEAR Act. Gift, void contract. Let's take this example, void contract. Now it says the contract affected in the absence of one of the trustee by the remaining trustee in the absence of any stipulation to that effect in the trust deed and without वगैरह जो लिखा हुआ है सब कुछ इसमें नीचे लिखा हुआ है Shanti Vijay versus Fatima Fauziya. Citation is this. What is this happening? This is a commentary that on this point, there's one important judgment, that is this. There might be 10,000 judgments on this topic, but as per my toll department, this is one of the important judgment. You go down. Let's take this offer and acceptance, or let's take formation of contract by auction. Now, whatever that you're reading over here, this is not the language of the BEAR Act. This is the language of the judgment. Now, in this judgment, that is Suresh Kumar versus State of MP, this language was used for this topic, and the citation is given over here. Now, if while you're reading the BEAR Act, you have read the theory and you want to see how practically it was used in the judgment, no need to write the party name, note the party name or citation. Just simply click on this. One click on this, it'll open judgment to a different window. You read this judgment, or you just please read the head notes. Understand what has been discussed. By the time you are done with this Contract Act, you would have gone through at least few hundreds of judgments. And now, with a combination of the BEAR Act and the judgment, reading it together, the understanding of a student would come at par with a lot of other students which are in the final year, because they're not reading only the theory part, they're also reading the applicability part of that act. So that's one thing I wanted to show, and this can be saved. If I save it, this will be saved as it is. Second thing, which will, I think this is more meant for the faculty members for now, that is browse credit topics. If I click on this, and we all know the constitution has been divided into a few principal heads topics. So those are available over here. I click on any of this. Let's take corporate and commercial law. Now, corporate and commercial law would have several other subtopics. So let's have a look at it. So there's a list of various topics. I'm going to take something which is, I can take cryptocurrency, but it's a hot topic. But now I'm sure a lot of you would have still not been able to understand what a crypto means. But let's talk about competition law. Now we all understand competition law, right? Now what we've done on competition law, that all the information that is relevant to this particular topic has been made available under this particular section. So statutory law, if I click on this, it says all the statutes which are related or directly or indirectly related to competition law is given over here. So Competition Act completely, yes, so the complete act is given over here. But then you see Companies Act, section 230, section 410, and then Electricity Act, section 2360 and all the stuff is mentioned over here. Why only particular section? Why not the entire act? Because the entire act does not govern competition law. Only this particular section, is related to competition law along with section 410. So what is happening is for anyone who is starting with a new topic, this will come in really handy that, okay, what all statutes do I have to read? Or let's suppose you're going for a moot court competition. So, and it's about CCI, moot court competition. It's all about Competition Act. Then you would need to go through this because then you will have all the understanding of all the acts which governs competition law. That's one. All the rules and regulations available here under this particular topic. Then notifications that have come till now on competition law available over here. Case laws, not only one judgment, but several judgments which has helped evolve this topic. Those are available over here. And the best part of this is you don't have to make note of these judgments. Simply click on the judgment, it will open up over here. You read the judgment, you want to save the judgment, click on this, you can save it into your folder. And then once you're done with your saving of all the research in your folder, you can go to your folder, take a printout together. That's for the case laws. And the last thing is that the articles. There are various articles. There might be 1,000 articles. Like over here, there can be thousands of judgments on competition law. But over here, we have picked up only 15 or 20 handpicked judgments, which are important as per us. And this is done not only for competition law. Even if you pick up, let's take securities law, over there also you get some information, but not the same heads. Like in this, it has bills, treaties, committee reports, policy documents. Because every topic would have some other, subheads. Might have the common heads, but we might have more or less the same headings. So this is another thing, guys. I think I'm going to stop over here. I have overshot my time by 9 minutes. So I would like to stop and give hand over the forum to the students. If they have any question, if they have any doubt or any suggestion that you'd like to make, students, now is the time. Please go ahead.
So students, do you have any question? I think you have very well covered everything, sir. Just one request. Can you please send me the list of attendees because I can't download it from here as you are the organizer now.
Just take the attendance.
Yeah.
Mr. Raina, can you please come in?
Yes, Chetan.
Mr. Raina, who is the organizer for this meeting, Mohit or you?
Mohit.
Can you check with Mohit? If Mohit is done with his training, can he come and take the attendance? Because Mohit would have the rights to take the attendance.
Sure.
I think we can't take the attendance right now.
Right.
And one more thing, Mr. Gill, as I can see in the moot court category.
I'll cover that as well. I think that would be required.
Yeah.
So in this one, right? So if I click on this, so we've been sponsoring a lot of moot courts, as you already know, ma'am. So what we
Great.
do is uh, we request them to give us the problem, a copy of the problem. But once the moot court gets, settled out and we have the winners, we also ask the teams to give us the winning team memos. So let me give you an example. Let's take Nalsar. So 13 Nalsar. Now over here we just have the problem. Let's take if you have so like take this one. So the 10th Nalsar, we have the best team memo. We have the best team memorial from respondent side as well, winning team memo and the from both sides. So if I click on this, it gives me the copy of it straight away. So let's suppose, you know, your students went to Amity Lucknow, okay, for a moot court competition. And you'll have the problem, obviously. But now your team would like to see that they could not win. They could not go in the final round. What was that one thing missing in the memo that they could not cover? So they can simply have a look over here, read, understand that how a memo was made, and understand the problems that they might have, that they might want to work on it. Secondly, for the faculty members, you can also download any of this and show it to your students that this is how a memo needs to be made. And because this is a winning team memos, so these are the best ones.
Yeah. But not all the mood problems are with, or not all the competitions you have shared here
So
are
what
not
is
having the
happening?
memorials.
Yes, what is happening over here is that we are dependent on the college. So we sponsor it. But what happens is that sometimes we get it from the students. Sometimes the committee is too busy to send it over to us. And we
Okay.
don't have a dedicated team to follow up with them on this because moot court is a different division, and we don't have a person sitting only for moot court because that will be just a waste of time because moot court doesn't happen throughout the year.
Mhm.
So we follow up with them. Sometimes they give it to us. Sometimes they take time and then everyone forgets about it. But I think we will work on this religiously in I think probably next year because that's we have some plans for the moot court making a moot court team in our office. Earlier, Mr. Raina was heading that team, but now Mr. Raina chose to come to the training team, so he has left that area of his expertise and he's now a part of this.
See, any questions from the faculties or the students?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Very
Go
good
for it.
afternoon, sir. My name is Yukti. Yes, sir. Also, first of all, thank you so much for such an amazing workshop. It was very helpful. Sir, my question is that is there any option or is there any way that we can also search for the research papers, or if anyone has prepared a research paper on some topic, so is there any way that we can get published it, or any of that sort, anything of that sort?
Uh, there are two things that you have raised. One is accessing the already published research paper. And I think the
Yes, sir.
second part is that you're asking that how can you publish a research paper, right?
Yes, sir. If anybody has worked on the research paper, uh, so how can we get it published?
Okay. So first, let me answer from the good news. You can publish all your research papers with us, SCC. We have a section that is called blog, and we also have a magazine where we publish a lot of articles and papers. But that is dependent on what we are looking at. So there's an email address that is articles@scconline.com. So just remember the articles@scconline.com. Over there, you can submit it. Also, we have another section on SCC Online that is called SCC Online Blog. So people also publish their research papers over here as well. So in either of the ways, getting it published in the books, it's a really challenge because there's a space constraint, and a lot of people are already in the queue. But because on website there's no space constraint, we can put 10 or we can put 100. It's only about the space, and we have enough space over here on the servers. So that can be one. As far as accessing research papers are concerned on SCC Online, that is not, as of now, there is no provision been made, or that particular database has been added to it. So you'll not be able to get something on it. But you might want to read something which other people have written. So blog can be one part wherein you can come and you can look for this op-eds or expert corners. So over here, a lot of law firms, it's not completely a research papers, but it's about more of their commentaries on a certain topic. So that might be helpful for you. Not directly what you're looking for, but something closer to what might just help you in it.
Right, sir. Okay, sir.
Mr. Raina, I think Mohit have taken the attendance, right?
Yes, Chetan, he has.
Yeah, I saw him.
Yeah,
I saw him coming on the call and doing that.
Right.
Okay, ma'am. So we have the attendance now. They were approximately, I think we have taken the attendance till the last. So they were initially, I think 46 members in the starting.
To be precise, 53 at one point of time. Yeah.
Okay. So there would be a scenario that some of them would have attended and then left. So we would not have their attendance. So people who are right now on this call, like from starting till end, we'll be able to provide that kind of attendance. I think, ma'am, your mic is muted.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. That happens very often.
Yeah.
So I was just saying that it will help us if we are checking the attendance and all, so
Yes.
that we can increase the number of students who will be having the excess, because we have that cap.
Yeah. Yes, I know. I remember. And I know that. Mohit is also here.
See.
Mohit was busy in, there was another parallel session which was going on. And actually, it was a parallel session and parallel to you, because it was also another college in Gurgaon, Ansal University.
Okay.
So Mohit was helping us with that session. Mohit was there while Mr. Raina and I, we were taking care of the session.
So right now everybody is working back to back, because right now we also have a meeting at 4.
Oh, so you are actually working back to back. We have some time. We
You'll
have
have
some
a
gap
break.
period.
Yes, you
We'll
can
have a
have
break.
you can enjoy your evening tea. We will be having another meeting.
So ma'am,
Yeah. So
we'll
thank
have
you
this.
so much, Mr. Gill, for joining and taking this beautiful and interactive and intellectual session. I hope the students have learned a lot. In case we have any problem or issues, we'll get back to you. I'll be sending you mails and all.
We will share an email address. Mr. Raina, could you? Mr. Raina has already done that. If you can let me share my screen one more time so that it's easier for everyone to see.
Okay.
You can see it on the screen, everyone. It's learning@scconline.com. And the toll-free number is also mentioned over here. So the learning ID is not only for me, it's for Mohit, Mr. Raina, and other training team members. So we all receive this email. So even if one of us is busy, any one of us who gets access to this particular email will revert to you. So you can leave a like a one-liner of what you need. But just remember two things. Do mention your university name, because sometimes the questions are very specific and we cannot really answer it unless until we know that which university are you from. And secondly, do mention your mobile number. Sometimes we cannot give you an answer on the email because it will be too elaborative and it doesn't make sense. So we will ask one of our members to give you a call, and the person will explain it word like step by step over the phone. Okay, ma'am.
Right. So thank you, Mr. Gill. Thank you, Mr. Raina. And thank you, Mohitji, everyone. SCC Online. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We'll share this recording with you.
Yeah,
I think Mohit was coordinating with you, so Mohit will share this recording with you.
Okay.
And it will be a good ready reckoner for all of us. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And take care. And thank you for bringing everyone together. I think big thanks to you. And being on the call, video call, switching on your video call throughout the session, that's really helps.
Yeah, I know that. Thank you.
Take care yourself. Thank you, ma'am.
Take care.
Thank you, Mr. Raina. Thank you, Mohit.
Thank you.
Thank you.